Hey horror fans, thanks for joining me for this review of Locke Key. Yeah, I'm doing something different this time and going to, talk about, review, talk about this new series that's on Netflix. And don't typically do too many reviews of series. I might have done a few smaller things and stuff on YouTube and stuff, but this is the first time I've done anything off of Netflix, series-wise. Probably should have done You. Maybe when season 3 comes out, I'll do that. But anyways, as usual, got some of the information down below for you. Cast and crew. And let's see what IMDb says about the plot of the series, and then I'll talk a little bit about it. After their father is murdered under mysterious circumstances, the 3 Locke siblings and their mother move into an ancestral home, Keyhouse, which they discover is full of magical keys that may be connected to their father's death. Pretty interesting there. So, I guess this is based off a comic or a graphic novel, something like that. And of course, I don't have time to read, so this is a whole new series for me. Saw a lot about it, and that's why I kind of gave it a try. Watched it over the course of a couple of nights, and one of the things that I guess I judge a series is especially with this new Netflix thing, where people like to binge stuff, is how much as I go through the episodes do I want to watch the next episode. If I'm really dying to see it, then I would say then the series is really good. If I'm not really getting into it or whatever, I can wait then, and maybe not so much. As far as this one, I'd say I was a little bit in between. I would say it probably started off, when the first couple of magical things, if you want to call it, started happening. I guess that was okay. But then I guess I needed something a little bit more. So I guess there was a couple of episodes maybe in between where I had to or each episode kind of was like up and down. Sometimes you're spending a little too much time on certain things that weren't maybe as interesting. I guess for an example is the mom. She's there. I think it's more towards the later episodes. They spend some time with her and trying to, she in the beginning, first couple episodes, she's kind of there in the background, and you just think she's a typical mom. You don't know much about her. Later, you find out that maybe she doesn't have her memory, or something's going on there where she's kind of avoiding all this. She's not handling the situation. So you find out with certain characters, they're missing their memory, or they're not the way they used to be. So I guess there comes a point where they spend some time with the mom, and I just didn't have interest in that. And so I think by the time we got to the end, I was probably pretty interested, and I would say if it comes back for season 2, I would definitely jump on that, at least to see where it picks up off of. Am I completely hooked? I don't know. It's really going to depend on what they do next. And as far as, I guess going back to the beginning, you kind of get introduced to this family. You've got a younger brother, an older brother, and a sister who's close to the age of the oldest brother. And they've moved to a new town, and they're really not sure about it and so forth. And it's where their father, who got murdered, spent a lot of time and grew up and so forth. And you kind of, in the first episode or two, couple episodes, you get them introduced to the new school and so forth. And I guess I kind of got attached to the little boy. He kind of kicks things off in the beginning, and he's the one who finds the first key and starts messing with it. And of course, little kid starts playing with this magical key. Nobody wants to believe him, and he tries to tell his other two siblings, what's going on here, but they don't really believe him, and that's the way it is. Who's going to believe a little kid with an imagination? But I think, once the two older siblings kind of believe, find their own keys, and get involved with the thing, at first it kind of takes away. It's a little more fun with the little boy finding them and what they do there and a couple of tricks they do. And when the older ones find it, they kind of do it for more self-motivating, selfish, I guess, reasons they use it. And they use it in school and to find their way, and the older brother uses it to try to impress a girl. The sister tries to use it to get back at this other girl that's kind of a bully and so forth. There was a funny thing that happens there with this girl and what they do to her. And what's kind of a fun part, at least for horror fans, like, there are horror moments in this thing, but I wouldn't say it's a complete horror show. But there is one interesting thing where they go back and the girl, I guess she kind of becomes boyfriend and girlfriend with him, more in a friendly manner, I would say, overall. But he's shooting a horror film. So for horror fans there, you kind of get thrown into a small, I guess, subplot there of him filming a horror movie, monster movie, and there's a fun take or two there as far as that regards. And then once she has her magical doings there with the keys, they kind of throw that in there. But yeah, there are some horror parts. I don't want to give away totally everything. The bad person here is the demon. There's a nice twist there. I did like the twist. I have to say that there's a nice twist there. My wife, as usual, figured it out before I did, and it kind of makes sense once you see it. But again, you kind of, as you're watching this, you have to take in the keys and what keys that they're using, what keys the demon is after. The demon is after the keys, and if anybody else has a key, who stumbles onto it or gets in possession of it, the demon can take the key from them. But if the key is in one of the Locke siblings' hands, the demon cannot take the key from him. They would have to voluntarily hand it over. And, so that's something a little interesting there. So it's just not an easy thing where the demon comes and the little boy's there and it's just like, okay, give me this key. It doesn't go like that. So that was a nice kind of rule they threw in there. And so you got to pay attention to the keys and what they can do. And that kind of helps you piece things together about what's going to happen. And of course, the more you see them use it and the closer it gets to the end, if you're paying attention, you kind of figure out what's happening here. The final episode was very interesting. No spoilers here. I'm trying trying to give away as little as possible here. But the final episode, you kind of see what's happening. There's going to be, a grand showdown partake between the three siblings and the demon. And as I would say with a lot of series, battle happens, things end, and then they leave you with a surprise twist at the end. Again, it was enough to make me say at least I want to see maybe the first episode or two, if they do have a season 2. And see how that plays out. The battle's definitely not over. They completely leave it open for season 2. God only knows when that's going to happen. I don't know if they made a formal announcement of a season 2 or not, but that will be something I would at least look forward to, at least seeing where that goes. And let's see, what else can I say about this? It's the more I think about it, I guess there is a little bit more horror in there. It's not blood and guts horror. There's the scene out in the graveyard. It's kind of spooky. The demon person, so forth, whatever. It's a little intimidating at times. Remember, this is a demon that's taking the body of somebody. It's not, a demon with horns or anything like that, or some creature. It's basically taking human form, but they can be pretty intimidating by themselves. And, there's just a lot of, and then there's, do you abuse the power of the key, or do you just hold it and use it for its purpose and it's good? And of course, along the line here, they're partly solving, or not on purpose solving, but finding out more about what happened to their father, because these keys, I guess, are part of the family. Their father found them back in his time when he was about the age of probably the older kids, and they find out a lot about their father as they go along this journey. Their mother is struggling from the incident that happened, and you see the incident that happened where the father does get killed, and that plays a role in it. And as it goes on, you also learn a little bit more about that incident that happened, and why it takes place, and how it took place, and how it affects what's happening now, and where the family is now. And so, you definitely have to watch. It's not fast forward through this. You have to watch and keep up. And but they do have some cool things. And I would say, as far as the keys are concerned, they're pretty cool. The things that they do with the keys, and they keep it very interesting. It's not just plain thing. They have a head key. I'm not going to give away what that does, but that was pretty cool. They have a key where it's, I guess you could say, a transportation key, or to transport you, I guess is a better way to say. Or if you see a door anywhere, in a magazine, any door that you've seen and you can kind of remember in your head, if you picture that and say it as you put the lock in any door, it could be your front door, side door, or any door that you're coming in contact with. If you put your key into that and think about it and say that the name of that door, you go right into it. So if you have that key, you can transport from one place to the other really quickly. And when the little kid finds it first, he takes a nice journey to a cool place. And then, of course, then when the bad demon has the key, she's obviously using it to basically cause her mischief quicker and do things and escape real quickly. And they kind of give you a glimpse of before you really find out that it's a demon. They're bad, but kind of what you would do with the key. Like you'd go from here to here and here and be able to do what you want, and nobody would be able to get you as long as you can get from point A to a door. And because as soon as that door closes, the next person that opens it sees whatever's really naturally behind that door. You may end up going, the person with the key goes to wherever they're thinking. The next person opens that door, goes into the next room or outside or wherever that door is really leading. So that's pretty cool there. And they have some other keys that can do stuff. And there's one that's kind of more like a weaponish kind of key. And, there's obviously going to be looking for a main key. They're all after this one key that opens this big door. And I'm not going to mention, what happens to that door or whatever, but that plays a big role in it. And so anyway, I would say, if you're here this time, we're going through this whole virus thing, and you have some time on your hands. This one might be one to binge. If you want to wait to see if they do a season 2 or not, that's completely understandable. But I think it was good enough. It was definitely good enough. It's fun if you're looking for a little fantasy. It does have its horror elements in there. Not too much of the blood and guts thing, but it does have its horror elements in it, and there's a lot of mystery, of course. So if you want to follow the family and kind of go on their journey with them, it's good. It's fun. Like I said, I'll check out if there is a season 2, wherever it starts, and see what happens there. But I hope you enjoyed this review, or at least this conversation of the first season of Locke Key. Again, it's on Netflix, if you're not familiar with it, and there's more information down below about the cast and crew. And I don't know if I do another series or not. Like I said, maybe when you does season 3, maybe I'll do an episode on a review of that, and maybe kind of wrap up the entire series. But don't usually get to do these bench watching things, to watch a whole series. I kind of prefer movies that are about an hour and a half, 2 hours. But anyways, it was fun, and it's worth watching. As far as pools of blood, I don't know. I like the ending enough to give it 3 pools of blood. I would kind of say it's early in the series. I maybe leaning to 2.5, but I liked where they ended it off. I would say it's a little bit predictable. I saw at least one thing happening, and the possibilities of another thing happening. And but just because it was predictable doesn't mean I didn't like it. That just means I'm having the same thought process as them. But anyway, that's it. I would say three pools of blood. So that's it for Locke and Key, and I'll catch you on the next review.